Hey guys, Ike here from Mike'sOutdoors.com. I'm here today to tell you 10 tips to make you a better shot with a compound bow. Okay, so just like last time, we're going to run through these pretty quick. Not going to go into much detail on each one. I've probably got a video out there on each one of these subjects anyway, so we're not going to go into a whole lot of detail on these. Try to make this video short, and I'm already rambling. So let's just get right into it. Number one is practice. Practice with your bow, develop muscle memory, get a good consistent anchoring point, get a good consistent form developed. Each time you shoot, practice will make you more consistent, and that is what archery is all about. The thing with archery when it comes to practice that I recommend is if you want to shoot 100 arrows a day, do it, but do it in short spurts. Do it at 25 here, 25 there, 25 later. Give yourself plenty of breaks, because if you get tired in between those shots when you're shooting 100 each time, you'll start developing bad form. So practice, 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 but do it smartly. Number two is properly balancing your bow. This is my Quest Syntech, and you see I got a long stabilizer on it. This is the Hitman. I've got a long stabilizer on here with a couple ounces of weight on it, and I've got a sidebar with a couple ounces of weight on it. And I like to have a long stabilizer, and I'm getting to where I like to have a sidebar on my bow to balance out all the weight that's on the right hand side of the bow. I like it on the left. But properly balanced bow will make your pin float minimal, and it will really help you to hold that bow steady at full draw. The problem with properly stabilizing a bow is you're going to end up like me. You're going to end up with a drawer full of stabilizers that you tried and that you didn't like. And every bow is a little bit different. I may be able to run this Hitman on the next bow that I get, but I may not be able to. I may have to go to one of those other stabilizers. So that's the problem with this. But you can borrow your buddy's stabilizer. You can go to a shop and they'll usually let you try some out. And you can also build some stabilizers. Now, some of them are pretty crude looking. You can build some out of PVC that are pretty simple, but you can use those DIY stabilizers. Some of them look really awesome. Some of them, not so much, but you can use those DIY stabilizers to start to develop your preferences and what you like as far as length and where you like your weight. So balance on your bow, proper balance is very important and can make you a better shot overall. Number three, and I know I have some videos on this out there, is learn to tune. Tuning is a very individual thing. I can tune with you, with you shooting, but I cannot tune your bow for you with me shooting it. It just isn't going to work. If you learn to tune, not only will you be able to fine-tune your bow and get better performance out of it, you'll have more confidence in that bow that it is tuned properly and that it is going to perform at its highest level. There's also a lot of pride in tuning. I love to be able to say, yeah, I've tuned that bow and I've got it shooting lights out. So a lot of pride goes into tuning and being able to do that. The next thing is your grip. You can see on this Quest Syntech, I've got some grip tape on here. Grip is very important because that's the one thing that's touching the bow. Get a grip that is comfortable. That's the first thing that you pick up on the bow. It's the last thing to touch the bow before the arrow leaves. So get a grip that you can put your hand in and get consistent hand placement without having to move your hand around to get comfortable. This Quest Syntech has a very comfortable grip, but it's a little bit slick. That's why I put the grip tape on there. So you may have to modify a grip a little bit to get it really comfortable for you. But overall, the grip should be comfortable and should be easy to settle into and not have to fidget around to get comfortable with. Number five is pick the right bow. Find the right bow. That starts with the grip. That also starts with the specs. You'll get to where you like a certain spec in a bow. I like a 34, 35 inch axle to axle with a 6.5 to 7 inch brace sight. 6 3/4 is really my sweet spot, but it's hard to find one with a 6 3/4 inch brace height. So I tend to go in between the 6.5 to 7 inch. I also know what kind of cams I like by looking at them. I can pretty much tell, and then when I get to the draw cycle, I know what kind of draw cycle I like. So find the right bow for you, and you can go to a shop and shoot bows. They should have bows there that you could shoot. If they don't, go to another shop. It's plain and simple. Finding the right bow for you is one of the most important things. There are some bows out there that are fantastic bows. I just can't shoot. And there's some bows out there that like the Bowtech Destroyer. I could pick one of those things up and just shoot lights out with that thing all day long. So finding the right bow for you is very important and will make you a better shot overall. Number 6 is work on your form. Your form is very important, but there is no such thing as perfect form. Film yourself, find your flaws, and work on one flaw at a time. And the thing is if you have a major form issue, like you're punching the trigger, or you're dropping your bow arm, or you're doing something that's really radically altering your shot, then you need to work on that. But all of us are going to have form issues, and all of us are going to have things that we do wrong as far as being perfect form. But the thing is to be consistent. With archery, being consistent is the key. So be consistent, and every time you pick up your bow, you need to perform the shot process the exact same way. Number 7 is shoot at odd distances and weird angles when you practice. Not every shot on a 3D course and not every shot in the woods is going to be a 20-yard broadside shot. So shoot at odd angles, 26, 27, 38, 42, stuff like that. Shoot from side angles, shoot on your knees, shoot sitting down, shoot from an elevated stand if you can. And it's important to shoot at odd angles too, to know where your bow starts to, where you need to start adjusting your sights. Like for me, with this bow, at 27 yards, I need to go to my 30-yard sight pin because I'm not comfortable holding my 20-yard sight pin up high enough. It starts to drop out at 27 yards so at 27 yards, I can put my 30-yard pin on it, and I'm probably going to shoot a little bit high, but not enough to make it a non-lethal shot. So knowing that about your bow will make you perform better shots and also make you more confident in those, in that as well. So number 8 is working with your release. Your release is, again, other than your left hand or your right hand if you're a left-handed bow hunter, the release is one of the only things that touches the bow during the shot process. And getting a release set up for you as far as the length, if you're using a index finger release, the trigger tension is very, very important. How it sets in your hand is very, very important. So setting your release up properly is going to make you a better shot, and using the right release. A lot of guys out there will go buy one release, and that's the release they use their whole life. Again, go to a shop, use your buddy's, see if they'll let you shoot a release. Use your buddy's release. Get the, borrow your buddy's release, try it, take your release and work with the trigger tension on it, work with the length of the neck on it, try a thumb release, try a back tension release if you're brave. Things like that can make a huge difference overall. Then in that release, just little things can make a big difference. Okay, so number 9 is find what works for you and stick with it. Like we're talking about specs on a bow. I've got certain specs that I like, and they generally will work for me. Now, don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone and try something new. But if you find something that works for you, like a release, I've had a Carter backstrap release for 12 years now. I also have a Wayland's hooker release that's very, very similar. Lately, I've been shooting the Wayland's hooker more than I've been shooting the Carter backstrap. But find what works for you and stick with it. You're comfortable with certain sights, certain rests, and certain bows, even certain specs on your bow, and certain releases and stuff like that. Stick with it. Become familiar with it. Make it to where when you pick that certain tool up, that you know every in and out of that product or out of that particular piece of gear, and that will make you a better shot because you're more confident in that gear. And that rolls us right into number 10, and that is the mental game. Work on the mental game of archery. I mean, archery is a sport just like any other thing out there, as far as like baseball or NASCAR or golf or anything like that. And you can get the yips, and you can get to where you're getting target panic, and you can get things to where things just aren't going right for you. And when you do, it's hard to overcome. It's hard to beat that when you get it. I know I got into a situation where I had target panic a few years back, and I had it for a long time, could not get over it. It really took me focusing on my mental game to get my confidence up and get to where I trusted myself to execute a shot. And I went through basically all these things that we're talking about to make myself more confident and worked on my mental game, and it was a really, really crucial part of going from having target panic to now being over that and shooting with confidence. So those are 10 things that I think will help you guys out to become a better archer, to become a better shot with your compound bow, whether you're in field archery or 3D archery or just a hunter like myself. I don't shoot any competitive archery anymore, but these things will help you out in any aspect of archery out there, and I hope that these will help you guys out. If they do, leave a comment in the comment section below. If you have any tips for me, I would love to hear those tips. Leave those in the comment section below. And if you would like, you can check us out on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook under Ike's Outdoors. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, I will see you guys then. I appreciate you guys watching.